Ah, yes. He usually looks to spend his Sundays in London. He's not one whose sole aim is enjoyment, as by all accounts that unfortunate young man, his brother, seems to be. But I must not disturb Egeria and her pupil any longer.
Egeria? My name is Letitia, Doctor.
A classical allusion merely, drawn from the pagan authors. I shall see you both, no doubt, at evensong.
I think, dear Doctor, that I will have a stroll with you. I find I have a headache, after all, and a walk might do it good.
With pleasure, Miss Prison, with pleasure. We might go as far as the schools and back.
That would be delightful. Cecily, you will read your political economy in my absence. The chapter on the fall of the rupee you may omit. It is somewhat too sensational. Even these metallic problems have their dramatic side. Horrible political economy, horrid geography, and horrid German.
Earnest Worthing just arrived from the station, and he brought his luggage.
Mr. Earnest Worthing, before the Albany West, Uncle Jack's brother. Did you tell me Mr. Worthing was still in town?
Yes, miss. He seemed very disappointed. I mentioned you and Miss Prism were at the garden. He was anxious to speak with you privately for a moment.
Hey, ask Mr. Earnest Worthing to come in. And I suppose you better talk to the housekeeper about getting a room for him.
Yes, miss.
I have never met a really good person. I feel rather frightened. I'm afraid he will look just like everyone else. He does.
You are my little cousin Cecily, aren't you?
I'm afraid you are under some strange mistake. I am not little. In fact, I believe I am more than usually tall for my age. But I am your cousin Cecily. And you I see from your card are Uncle Jack's brother, my cousin Ernest, my wicked cousin Ernest.
I am not really wicked at all, cousin Cecily. You mustn't think that I'm wicked.
If you are not, then you've certainly been deceiving us in a very inexcusable manner. I hope you're not pretending to be wicked and being really good all the time. That would be hypocrisy.
Oh, well, I have been rather reckless.
Oh, I am glad to hear it.
And now that you mention the subject, I have been very bad in my own
I don't think you should be so proud of that, though I'm sure it was very pleasant.
It is much pleasanter being here with you.
I can't understand how you are here at all. Uncle Jack won't be back until Monday afternoon.
That is a great disappointment. I'm obliged to go up by the first train on Monday morning. I have a business appointment that I am anxious to miss.
Couldn't you miss it anywhere but in London?
No, the appointment is in London.
Well, I know, of course, how important it is not to keep a business engagement if one wants to retain any sense of the beauty of life. But still, I think we're going to wait till Uncle Jack arrives. I know he wants to speak to you about your emigrating.
About my what?
Your emigrating, he's gone up to buy your outfit.
Oh, I wouldn't let Jack buy my outfit. He has no taste in neckties at all.
I don't think you should require a necktie. He's sending you to Australia.
Australia? I'd sooner die.
Well, he told us at dinner on Wednesday night that you had to choose between this world, the next world, and Australia.
Well, the accounts I have received of the next world in Australia are not particularly encouraging. This world is good enough for me, Cousin Cecily.
Yes, but are you good enough for it?
I'm afraid I'm not that. That is why I want you to reform me. You might make that your mission if you don't mind.
afraid I have no time for that this afternoon.
Well, would you mind my reforming myself this afternoon?
It is rather quixotic of you, but I think you should try.
I feel better already.
Well, looking a little worse.
That is because I'm hungry.
How thoughtless of me. I should have remembered that whenever one is going to lead an entirely new life, one requires regular and wholesome meals. Won't you come in?
Thank you. Might I have a buttonhole first? I never have any appetite unless I have a buttonhole first.
A Marchiel, yes?
No, I'd sooner have a pink rose.
Why?
Because you are like a pink rose, Cousin Cecily.
I don't think it can be right for you to talk to me like that. Miss Prism never says such things to me.
Then Miss Prism is a short-sighted old lady.
You are the prettiest girl I ever saw.
Miss Prism says all good looks are a snare.
They are a snare that every sensible man would like to be caught in.
Oh, but I wouldn't like to catch a sensible man. I shouldn't know what to talk to him about.
You are too much alone, dear Dr. Chasuble. You should get married. A misanthrope I can understand. A woman-thrope? Never.
Believe me, I do not deserve so neologistic a phrase. The practice, as well as the precept of the primitive church, was distinctly against matrimony.
That is obviously the reason, dear Doctor, why the primitive church has not lasted up to the present day. And you do not seem to realize, dear Doctor, that by persistently remaining single, a man converts himself into a permanent public temptation. Men should be more careful. This very celibacy leads weaker vessels astray.
But is a man not equally as attractive when married?
No married man is ever attractive except to his wife.
And often I've been told, not even to her.
That depends on the intellectual sympathies of the woman. Maturity can always be depended on. Ripeness can be trusted. Young women are green. I spoke horticulturally. My metaphor was drawn from fruits.
Perhaps she brought us to schools. Mr. Walton.
Surprise! We did not expect you until one day after.
I've returned sooner than I expected. Dr. Chasuble, I hope you are well.
My dear Mr. Worthington, I trust this garb of woe is not betokening some terrible calamity.
My brother.
More shameful debts and extravagance.
Still leading his life of pleasure.
Dead.
Brother Earnest dead.
Quite dead.
What a lesson for him. I trust he will profit by it.
Mr. Worthington, I offer you my sincere condolence. You have at least the consolation of knowing you are the most generous and forgiving of brothers.
Poor lad. Had many faults, but it's a sad note.
Very sad indeed. Were you with him at the end?
No. He died abroad. In Paris, in fact. I had a telegram last night from the manager of the Grand Hotel.
Was Was the cause of death mentioned?
Severe tooth, it seems.
As a man sows, so shall he reap.
Charity, dear Miss Prism, charity. None of us are perfect. All ourselves and peculiarly susceptible to drugs. Will the interment take place here?
No. He seems to have expressed a desire to be buried in Paris.
In Paris? Well, that hardly points to a very serious state of mind for that. You would, no doubt, wish me to make some slight allusion to this tragic domestic affliction next Sunday. And my sermon on the meaning of the manna in the wilderness can be adapted to almost any situation. Be it joyous, or, in the present case, distressing. I appreciate harvest celebrations, christenings, confirmation, days of humiliation, and festival days. The last time I delivered it was at the cathedral, as a charity sermon on behalf of the Society for Prevention of Discontent among the upper orders. The bishop who was present was much struck by some of the analogies I drew.